back. Sorry for the hiatus. I was just like working overtime those last few weeks, and I've had a lot of busy time at night. So yeah, I was not in with the energy to stream, but let's try. I've tried to move the. I've updated the game and tried to move it to my main hard drive, so it might improve the performance a little. I'm not sure yet. I completely forgot what I was doing. Hello, Kamui! Yeah, but yeah, it's just like feeling a little exhausted from life. Like working overtime really drains the energy. But at least everything seems to be working fine. Let's see. Okay, I forgot what was in this direction. Yeah, it's this one. Yeah, the frame is still kind of a little warty, but it's at least working. Like, at least one thing I have been having a lot of time to do is, like, I have been in a huge mood to read a lot of stuff. Like, not like constructive stuff, like just stupid stuff. I've been reading a lot of Planescape. And because of that, I have been having like a lot of Planescape and watching some stuff on like. Oh, okay. Let me pay attention because those specific enemies are kind of annoying to do it. Let me see. I'm not going to waste Chaos Mana. Let's see. It's always a waste of time. Okay, let's see. The worst part is that I have to kill this asshole because let's just put down. Because it has a chance of reflecting magic, and with it in a shield, I can use area of effect magic. Oh, don't attack valleys, please. Okay. Good. Ah! Annoyance. Oh, great. Okay. I see the crow. So as I was saying, I was reading a lot of stuff on Planescape and watching like some videos on Trench Crusade. Like it has Trench Crusade is a funny kind of clusterfuck because it's at least trying to do something interesting. Like I'm not going to say like it's a replacement for 40k or anything like that. That's clearly not. Like, it doesn't have a deep enough setting to carry such a burden as being the replacement for Warhammer, but it at least tries to give reasoning to its edginess. Also, it completely doesn't do the cardinal sin I hate of the Edgelord. The Edgelord. What's the name of this kind of thing? Like Edgelord media. Like it doesn't do that annoying thing where they just try to equate everything into a singular. Okay, everyone is stupid and everyone is equally evil. Everyone that's not like the standard version of the Eurocentric view of liberalism is a villain. So like it has, for example, one of the most interesting takes on a Islamic fashion in a lot of media, because it actually tries to use a lot of the more iconoclastic side of the Islamic faith. Like, for those that don't know, is the Islamic faith is very iconoclastic. Like the whole thing with them not like wanting people to make drawings of Muhammad, for example, is not simply because they think the idea that Muhammad is sacred or anything like that. Like, it's actually the opposite. It's not that they think the image of Muhammad is sacred or like Allah or anything like that. It's mostly because they don't believe that the drawings should be used to capture the essence of the sublime. Like drawings are a very limited medium for that. So that's why a lot of old Islamic traditions actually invest a lot of time in trying to study mathematics and geometry. Like the Islamic empires of the world actually were huge tools in trying to preserve the old world geometry and mathematics for future generations. Like Europe had a literal mathematical dark age, and the ones that actually kept mathematics alive and functional were the Islamic empires. Because they see the mathematics itself as a form of communion with the divine. That's why, for example, their buildings have the patterns that they have. Like, it's not just because they find it beautiful. Like, it's because they don't believe that drawings can capture this kind of thing. So they just ask you not to do it. Like don't pull a Charlie Hebdo and just be an asshole edgelord trying to get a reaction. Like, it's the same stupid thing where people okay. Oof. My blood froze. I thought I met a mimic. Okay. Where people like try to spread big fat on bullets because they believe it will somehow desecrate the Islamic soul, preventing it from reaching heaven. And it's not even how that works. Like, that is stupid. And the Muslims are not like it's not their kryptonite. Like, it's not something that destroys their soul or anything like that. It's just you being endlessly cruel for the sake of being a huge idiot and nothing else. Yeah, the frame rate is still a little weird. What the hell? Why is the frame rate so, like... Let me check my memory a little, just give me a second. No, I have enough, like, I have a ton of CPU and memory left, so yeah, I don't see why it's shaking so badly right now. Like, what the hell? It must be an issue with the engine, like it's probably not affecting well that I'm still using Windows 10. I hate ambushes in this area because the enemies still do a ton of damage. Oh great, you have to kill my reviver! Okay, that at least works. Okay, as I was saying, the whole agent lard thing of spreading lard on bullets to because idiots believe that it's going to destroy their Islamic the Muslim soul is like literally just a stupid agent lard bullshit. There's no real backing in the Islamic faith, and it's just proving that you are a horrible person for the sake of being horrible, because you're not even being smart at being horrible, you're just horrible. But yeah, as I was talking, the Islamic faith is very iconoclastic and actually very rationalist. Like, they really like the concept of knowledge, not simply as being a smart ass that loves God, etc. That a lot of Catholic, not Catholic, a lot of Christian preachers like to say. It's more that they believe in the idea that to hold knowledge is inherently a positive thing, like it's inherently a noble objective in itself. So what happens is that in First Crusade, the Iron Sultanate, that is the Islamic faction, they actually are the scientific faction of the setting, because while there are like multiple sub-factions, there are three main groups in the entire game. Like there are the Church factions that are New Antioch and the Church Pilgrims. The House factions that are the Court of the Seven-Headed Snake, the Heretic Legion, the Black Grail, and the Path of the Beast. Like, there are some other factions that exist but haven't gotten their own rule sets yet, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Where's my revives? Oh, for fuck's sake, I forgot to get the revives. Oh, great. Okay, I have to go to the trouble of removing the program from Theo. Put this in somewhere else. I feel I'm going to use no attack, so she has disposable mana. Okay. Okay, let's get some hiding. Okay, yeah. And there's the Aristotelites, that is the Muslim faction, and it's actually pretty interesting dichotomy because the setting, while looking heavily Christian, like it's almost blasphemous, like I would say, especially how their cosmology works around miracles. But it's more like I think there's something they're trying to do with the setting because there's a weird implication that there's something really wrong with the way heaven and hell work in the setting. So, for example, if you understand the mechanics of the setting, it seems like God simply works differently according to each faction. For example, Hell's magic is the Goetic magic, and many of Hell's special super weapons are only functional, I believe the word would be, because the Hell is trying to impose human suffering in order to disturb God's awareness of the world. So it breaks God's grasp into the world because, according to the way Hell sees magic, God doesn't want humanity to suffer. So if they impose suffering on humanity, they will get to losing God's grasp on reality, allowing them to use heavy reality bending spells. The main issue with that theory is that actually the Christian side of the spells are based on human suffering too. Like they literally are called are based on martyrdom. Like it's not that God dislikes suffering, is that God wants suffering to be meaningfully is. So the concept of what the setting is trying to pull is that like the people inside of the setting can't realize that, but it is pretty clear that they are trying to imply something with the like I don't know specifically that God is evil, but there is something incredibly wrong about what God is doing, like how God sees the entire conflict, because the characters in the setting kind of just accept that yeah, we have to mutilate ourselves because God wants that, and because God wants us to mutilate yourself and live in constant fear and suffering and pain and humiliation. God benefits us with his magic, but like I don't know if they realize that the mechanism, like mechanically, how the game works. Whatever would cause a Sigmatic nun to gain power for resources also benefit the Goetic magic. Like the two mechanically feed on the same actions in the game. So yeah, that's kind of a really obvious case of there is something afoot in here. Either Hell is like extremely wrong about what's happening and just guessing at how their powers work, or God is actually lying to Hell. Like in either case, it is obviously a situation where the characters are limited by their own framework of the setting. Like a consistent theme about the church in French Crusade is that it is completely myopic. Like they are so blinded by the necessity of keeping control of the narrative that they literally shoot their feet all the time. Like the only reason neither of the two factions won the war is mainly because the two are completely stupid. to the point where they're incapable of like finishing their job because they're self-sabotaging the whole time. And the Islamic faction is like the ones that are just responsible adults on the table. Like they literally are the responsible adults on the table. Because I shit you not, one of the main events of the setting is that when the Christians cause the portal to hell to open, God instantly sends a magical iron wall, magical self-replenishing iron wall to surround the centers of the Islamic nations. So in the setting, Christians have a huge monopoly on miracles, but the greatest miracle known in the time frame of this setting actually belongs to the Muslims. Like the Islamic Empire of the Sultanates literally received a gift from God that allowed them to survive the hordes that were clawing out of hell. So yeah, it's pretty clear that there's something afoot in there, so that the author tries to imply, because the thing with the Muslim faction is that they're the hyper science faction, and by being the hyper science faction, they are like, they combine like Arabian Nights aesthetics. Like it's kind of weird, like it's not as Orientalists do regular Arabian Night aesthetics, but it's still Arabian Night aesthetics. Like, I'm not going to say it isn't, because yeah, it's clearly. Okay, the sapphire dot. Okay, it's clearly a situation where the setting is drawing from a cultural, a shared cultural landscape instead of specifically from Muslim aesthetics. It's not bad. Like I can't say for in the name of Muslims. Like I'm not a follower of Islam, but yeah, like it is clearly something really Arabian inspired. Like, it's not the turban kind of Arabian Nights, by the way. It's more closer to Prince of Persia, the Warrior Within. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is a cultural reference that is still relevant for today, but yeah. For the setting, the general idea is that that the Muslims are like huge alchemical nerds, and they love mathematics. So what happens is that when the portals to hell open, they subtly alter the physics composition of the setting. So the constant pressure, spiritual pressure coming out of hell cause alchemy to become supercharged. So the Sultanate's main objective inside of the setting is trying to study reality. Like they want to understand how that phenomenon works, why is hell supercharging alchemy, and how they can weaponize that to fight the hordes of hell. And like, it is interesting kind of hell too, like I'm not gonna lie, it's, even though it's clearly just a haha we are baby eating demons kind of hell, they actually make the whole song in this kind of interesting, because hell suffers from acute Word of Darkness syndrome. So what happens is that the main reason hell hasn't destroyed reality yet is because every single archdevil is a huge idiot that can't spend 2 seconds following a plan before they sabotage each other. So the main reason why humanity has a chance in the setting is because oh fuck, okay. It's because the leaders of hell are incapable of admitting their mistakes and also are huge idiots that will also sabotage each other for power. And the only two canonically competent archdevils are Beelzebub and Mammal. And Mammal is only hyper competent because the rest are extreme idiots that can spend 2 seconds making a long plan. And Mammon being the demon of greed, the archdevil of greed, he has a domain surrounding the idea of greed and planning. Like he's the one that writes house contracts. So a huge point of Mammon's strategy is that he doesn't believe that the court's internal games are that interesting, and because of that, he sort of becomes impervious to them. Like, he's not normally manipulated into getting to the same things that get demoted. And the main, in Beelzebub, in the other case, is that he's not really interested in being part of the court of Seven-Headed Serpent, because Beelzebub's main thing is that he is the most competent of the whole court, and he simply decided, okay, you guys are so stupid that you're actually destroying the whole flow. So his shtick is that he decided that instead of playing hell to begin, he was going to play Resident Evil and created a zombie plague in the middle of the hyper-realistic World War I simulation. Oh no, it's not if I return to base, I have to do some life a minute. This frame rate's killing me. Okay, return to yesterday. So what happens is that since the Muslim faction actually the enlightened few that are not a bunch of self-destructive idiots, a lot of shirts that try to jump on the Transformers bandwagon think that it's what's going to be Fred Paradise are coming off of their mouth because how dare the creator of the game not treat Muslims and Islamic nations as subhuman? he should be defending the honor of the white Aryan race or something stupid that they just like believe, but no. The church side of the setting is extremely completely on the wrong. Like not even a matter of like compared to how they are good. Like no, they actually extremely stupid. Like the end game of the setting is kind of grim if they win because the main thing that the church does is that they like how to explain the worst possible thing a preacher could say about someone is their basic doctrine. Like they literally preach suicide and self-mutilation as far as forms of atoning to from the original sin to God. So yeah, like there's no recovery from that. The church, the Catholic church wins in setting, everyone is fucked. Like seriously, planet becomes custodian for blasphemers, and everyone is fucked. The hells and like the archdevils in hell are not really supposed to win. There are a few reasons that I understand that they would never work for them, based on what I read about the setting. But yeah, the main reason why the whole thing is kind of a huge mess is that since hell has no unified front, they are only winning because they are just too stubborn to accept that they are bad leaders. And I believe Gerberian Alchemy is the name of the tech of the Aristotelic. And Gerberian Alchemy is not as malleable as Christian miracles or Galactic magics, so they actually have to use strategies playing around the enemy's formation. Like the Aristotelians are the tau of the first person setting. Like not even a joke. Like they have a lot of specialized long range units, focus a lot on stealth and high grade weapons, and have a sort of love-hate relationship with the human faction, with the other human faction, in the same way that the Tall sort of really don't mind the Gaveza, but they really hate the Imperium. So yeah, that's the main thing that surrounds the. Fuck, I don't have any resources left. How much money I have? Okay, that's actually that. Let's see, okay, I'm back on the base. Okay, the only faction that I root for the setting is the Aristotelic because the other two factions are like suicidal idiots and the worst group project ever in the form of a bunch of edgelords. Oh, it's actually cheap, okay. Why the frame rate so low? It's annoying me. I have to wait for another patch. I'll tell the developer because it's kind of making it easy to see the frame rate drop so strongly all the time. Hmm. Hmm. But I don't know why I have like done this huge tangent on French Crusade, but yeah, I was actually going to talk about Planescape. But yeah, I believe I'm going to finish for today. I'm not really liking this frame rate drop. It's causing me some wooziness, and I don't want to deal with that at night. So yeah, I'm going to finish for today. But yeah, I'm back. Like, I'm not really promising I'm going to play every day because I'm still doing overtime sometimes. But I am at least going to be trying to stream more. And also, I want to return to drawing. Like, I have been happy drawing recently. But I have been messing around with ideas in my head, trying to write some stuff. I am awful at trying to write a start for things. I'm like, that's the curse of learning to write fiction by being a game master, is that you can just throw a setup on the hand of someone else and they will actually try to roleplay the dialogue in a way that is going to be realistic. I have a really hard time starting a setting because I tend to overthink too much and don't know how to just put pen to paper and decide that okay, we are going to start here and move forward from there. For example, I have the whole homebrew stuff for Dungeons and Dragons being moved to Defenders of Tokyo, it's Defenders of Tokyo 3rd Edition Z, and the main issue I have with making the setting is that I can write like almost 100 pages of background lore of the entire setting, but when I try to write the inciting moment that actually forms the situation that causes the setting to move forward, I have a really hard time. Like, I even have a friend tell me that like, okay, you're great at creating the words, but you're awful at trying to create events for them because you can write an entire as you say, can write an entire academic research on the history of your word, but a single character dialogue is kind of really hard for you because you can't really decide of what you want for those characters. And yeah, that's a weakness that I should be able to overcome with time. Because that's why I have been reading a lot of Planescape, because a lot of the planes I have for the setting are based on Planescape itself. Because Planescape is actually an amazing setting if you can actually have the patience to read it. It is one of the best things to come out of Dungeons and Dragons, and I believe I said it here before, but it's one of the only saving grace with regards to the alignment system because it the main idea behind Planescape is that alignments are bullshit. Uh, because the way Planescape works is that alignments are defined by inorganic immutable laws of the universe. So you're not evil because you do evil things. You're evil because your very essence is tied to evil. Because evil is a literal energy type in the setting. So, for example, good is tied to the positive energy plane, and evil is tied to the negative energy plane. So, if you follow things that are evil, you are considered evil. So, for example, necromancy is considered evil because it taps directly into the negative energy plane. But also the concept of worshiping destruction. Like, if you worship entropy, you are automatically treated as evil. If you worship that, you are automatically treated as evil. If you commune with the dead, like treat the dead as people or respect them, you are also automatically treated as evil because you are tainting your soul with the presence of the negative energy plane by surrounding yourself with undead. So yeah, the setting inside of Planescape uses that masterfully because the main thing is that those axes of good and evil, chaotic and lawful, are defined by the literal presence of the outer planes, and the outer planes themselves are populated by the living concepts of those energies they represent. So if you graph the format of the Great Wheel and the outer planes over a alignment chart, they fit perfectly where the general consensus of the alignments of those planes are in the regular alignment chart. But there is also interesting superimposition because inside of Sigil, alignments don't mean shit, like literally. The function of the factions that are like the main draw of the setting. Okay, I'm back. Um, so yeah, the main draw of the entire setting is meeting the colorful characters from the factions, and the colorful characters of the factions are the embodiment of saying fuck you to the alignments and deciding to create your own meaning inside of the meaninglessness of the universe because Planescape exists in a layer of existence above the afterlife of the setting itself. The outer planes are the afterlife. Sigil, the central point of the Planescape setting, the place where most adventures are actually going to start or end, is not there. Like, it's above them in the hierarchy. Like, Sigil is the embodiment of fluidity of the universe itself. Like, it's the center of the Outlands. It's on top of an infinite spire, and the main thing with that is that Sigil is supposed to be the city of possibilities. It's the city of doors. It's the cage of the Lady of Pain. The Lady of Pain is an amazing character if you want to study her. She's one of the most interesting um, in story manifestations of the will of the game master because she's not simply a character that the game master controls to manipulate the plot. She is the embodiment of the rules of the game. Uh, she was used, for example, to explain a changing rule set from one edition to another by simply ripping Vecna outside of the fabric of reality when he tried to fuse with the multiverse to dominate it, and she like removed him, patched the parts of the code of reality that he damaged by trying to merge with it, and then patched the entire process he used to make the merging, just so he couldn't try it again. And those patches that she made to the setting is actually caused the in-universe change of one system to another, meaning that's why how spells, classes, alignments, etc. worked was because she simply decided that okay, yeah, I have to prevent this from happening again, so I'm going to alter the entire reality and the basic laws of everything, so that no other Vecna can exist to try to pull this bullshit again. And a lot of people don't like the Pages of Pain. I haven't read it directly, but I like a lot of the concepts introduced in there. Um, because it's a interesting character study on how the mentality of the Lady of Pain works. Because yeah, the Lady of Pain is a mute character in the setting. Like no one can talk to her, and no one can understand even her servants directly because they don't talk. They use rebels. They're a language like instead of talking, their heads just emanate symbols above them. So when they need to communicate something, they just emanate their symbols, and people are supposed to try to interpret them. Most of the time, it's like they will want to communicate in a way that people will be able to understand, but they don't necessarily need to do that, and that leads to a lot of like tension in the setting where people are extremely afraid of trying to too hard to understand them. So what happens generally is that the characters in Seagull are extremely tense when they are around. Like they're not harmful. Like they were not like most of the time. I believe they can't even defend themselves. Like the only person that actually will try to will punish you for trying to do that, for trying to mess with a double, are probably the people of the Harmonium, simply because they don't want the Lady of Pain to get involved, or the Lady of Pain herself, because the main rule of the setting, you don't fuck with the Lady of Pain, because the Lady of Pain's authority is absolute inside of Sigil. Like, you can try to do stuff, like, breaks her rules outside of Sigil, but if you're inside of Sigil, she rules. Like, you can do anything to break her authority. Um, and that's by design. And if she finds out that you have been trying to worship her outside the city because you're trying to nerf her by turning her into a god, she's going to fucking destroy your life when you enter Sigil again. Like, I'm not even joking. She has a very twisted sense of humor, even though she's very cold and silent all of the time. The character behind the faction wars, his punishment is one of the funniest comedy fillers ever, because she literally used the fact that he tried to fuck with her as a catalyst for his own destruction. Like, she created a closet loop where he tries to fuck with her because he hears a legend of a prior wizard, powerful wizard that created an artifact that was going to enslave Sigil through his will. Um, but the wizard wasn't able to cast it, and so he became lost inside of the artifact. And the artifact was locked, I believe, in the abyss. So Blackwell decided that he had the perfect opportunity to continue the work of this wizard. So he started looking around for the relic and ended up finding it, and to distract the Lady of Pain from his trail, he incited the faction wars. So that's why the module is called the faction wars. But what happens is that the Lady of Pain is not an idiot. Like, the first thing she did was banish off the Factals. Like, the Factals are the leaders of the factions in Planescape. And then went directly to find the fucking asshole that is trying to cause a massacre city. When she realized what she was trying to do, the funniest series of events happened. Like, she sent the guy to the mazes. When he escaped the maze, he found out that in her extremely specific brand of being a huge, like a huge mean girl when she wants to, is that she sent him into the past, way into the past, to the point where even most factions didn't exist, and threw him in front of the Bleakers gatehouse, because the Bleakers are one of the funniest and most terrorizing factions inside of Planescape, simply because they are like depressed therapists and social workers. They believe that the universe is meaningless, but because they believe the universe is meaningless, and that creates a huge bots of depression on them, They actually believe that the lack of meaning is the perfect opportunity to never need to justify why you're doing good for people. They just do good because they want to do it. Like, what you're going to say? But laws say you shouldn't be feeding this guy because whatever. Like he's a slave or he owes money or etc. And they're like, whatever. Fuck it. I don't believe in laws. And they just go feed the guy. Since they are immune to madness, they are the guys that run the Mad Asylum of Sigil. That's the gatehouse. And what the Lady of Pain did is that she threw the asshole wizard, the asshole level 20 wizard, into the courtyard. And like a common thing about Planescape is that most of the faction members are not even high level adventurers. Like they are like average, like in between 8 and 14 most of the time. Even the leaders. Like the leader of the Bleak Cabal at the time, I believe, was like level 8, a level 8 fighter. Just so you get it. But the main thing with Sigil is that the factions are used to an asshole coming into the city trying to usurp the Lady of Pain and cause a huge ruckus so often that everyone that works for a faction pretty much knows how to handle a fight like that. The Bleak Cabal, for example, they literally refuse to engage with the rules of the game. Like, they literally refuse to engage with the rules of the game. If you try to start a combat encounter with them, they are just going to use whatever stuff doesn't can't be used, can't be targeted by combat actions. They will try to bind you with ropes. They will try to use traps or creep you or etc. in order to prevent you from being able to attack them. Because as long as they are not entering a combat encounter, they don't need to worry about dice. And that's the genius of the Bleak Cabal, because Lady of Pain sent the fucking asshole wizard to them because she knew that when they saw a weird guy screaming about being a hugely important wizard and talking about events that haven't happened as if they were happening, they would instantly realize the guy was crazy and they would instantly institutionalize the guy. Reminder: most of the faction members are not high level characters, and they stopped a level 20 wizard without breaking a single sweat. When they tried to treat the wizard for his egomania, they accidentally ended up breaking the mind of the guy. Like they were not trying to break the guy, they really trying to help him, but they couldn't really understand what his delusion was, with the source of his delusion. Like in their minds, his delusion like was speaking the truth, but yeah, like time travel is not that common in D&D. Like it's a very specific localized phenomena, and inside of Sigil, like they're really is not common. Like if you go around saying you travel through time, 9 out of 10 times they are going to correctly assume that you're crazy. So what happens that the mind of the guy that tried to reconcile broke completely, and he created a new identity and decided that he had to stop his old identity from trying to break the city to prevent the disaster that was going to befall it. And by doing that, he ended up being sent himself even further into the past. And I believe he lost his memory and became the wizard that tried to do the spell to take over Sigil. So what happens is that he became his own murderer. She caused him to create a grandfather paradox, where his most future self, the one that is furthest into the past, is going to be killed by his most past self, the one that's stuck in the present. So by attempting to do the ritual, he's going to kill himself. It's a completely stable time loop, and it was on purpose by the lady. Like it's an extremely funny way to explain how petty she can be when people are trying to mess with her, because she's As I was talking to someone, the lady of pain is a system admin with a gun in the HR access, and HR not, and system and total system access. You better pray that she uses the shotgun on your face, because if she has to sit on her table and try to program something, you are going to regret it. Like, if she has to mess with reality just to fuck with you, you're really not going to like it. Like, being mazed is a mercy compared with what she can do when she really doesn't like someone. It's not even a joke. Like, being flayed is instant. Like, you die almost painlessly because the flash of the pain is so fast that your body is going to simply give up. Being mazed, it's awful. It's like an eternity of being stuck in a stable demiplane. You pass the time doesn't pass for you, and you always know, and you have the knowledge in your head that there is an exit, like there's a way to leave it, but it's not supposed to be easy to find. Like, it can take thousands of years inside of the maze to get out of it. And the funniest part is that if you get her to decide that even mazing or flaying you is not enough, you are going to regret it in the most awful ways possible, because she's creative. Like, she might look scientist, she might look serious, but she is creative. Like, she's an amazing sort of tool for the DM to really fuck with characters. I believe the first introduction to it was from Spoonie's Counter Monkey, but I fell in love with her because of that, because I read playing this game because of that video, and like the audacity of the fucking bullshit that she can pull in the novels is like, yeah, no, I completely get you, girl. Like, you do you, you're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm not going to blame you for failing people. If I had to do your job, I was probably going to have a very short temper. And yeah, like, that's it. Like, I'm not I have been talking over a static stream for like half an hour already. So yeah, goodbye for everyone. If I can find why my frame rate is so bad, I'm going to try to play again. But yeah, it's really killing me this time, because it's annoying that the game is kind of shaking too much. It was not shaking like that in the other versions, but I've downloaded the upgrades because I have to see because there were a lot of content corrections, and I don't want to get stuck in the middle of a stream with the contents broke. But yeah, that's it. So goodbye everyone. Bye bye.